Ooh, what's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the CangToys Hero Class Breakhorn, or their version of a chug scale slag. So I got this from Augie G. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. And he's been sending all of these. I'm not planning to look at the combined mode. It's too much, for me. But I will look at the robot, dyno, and combined mode. I'll probably just show it. Probably may not show the transformation. Just so you can get a sense of what the combined mode is going to look like. But these are, smaller versions of the MP version of this combiner. It does combine to form Volcanicus. So here we're just going to really be looking at the robot and dyno mode for the most part. It does have some nice paint. You get gunmetal, gold, silver accents, metallic red or maroon. Here's the back. It does have some configuration you need to do out of box. So first off, we want to grab the head. And there's a ball joint plug in right there. And you just get the ears or not the ears, the horns folded up. Things like that. Then you can take these, and this will make up the spikes. And for these, you're going to plug in these little spikes into here. So you get that look. And this will plug in right here, side of the head. And I've already assembled this one just to save some time. And you'll plug this in, they'll plug in together down here. So as you get this plugged in, this one actually has a little trouble plugging in, but once you get that down there, it'll sit nicely on the back and kind of make almost like a cape. And now you've got all of his parts fully installed and he's ready to go. It does look pretty cool, with this effect part here. Let's go over the articulation. Head isn't a ball joint. It goes up to there, down to there, side to side, rotates around. Not a decent looking head sculpt. It's got metallic red eyes. Shoulder rotate around on this joint. The shoulder pad rotates with it. Honestly, it's a little irritating. I don't love this shoulder pad because as you go to try to manipulate it, a lot of the joints, the tolerances are a little too tight. Like this one's fine, but then this joint around the shoulder pad is tight. So it makes for not the best experience. But this can rotate up and down and get out of the way of the shoulder. It's just really tight. Shoulder goes up to there, rotates around. You have a rotation here at the bicep, double jointed elbow, full bend. Rotation at the wrist. Single pin for the hands, and remember this is a chug scale, so you're not going to get all the articulation to get a masterpiece, but you do get a single pin for the hands. Let's bring this back down. Coming to the waist, you have a waist rotation. Ab crunch is built into the crotch, so it's down here. It does get you a bend, though. Down to there. Hip skirts will move out of the way. It's a little weird the way it works. This is another one of those way too tight joints. Squeaky, poorly toleranced. Back to there, out to the side. Again, this hip skirt kind of gets in the way, but out to there. Rotation at the thigh on a universal. More squeakiness, double jointed knee. I'm not a huge fan of this joint because it just gets out of whack here. I don't love the way that works. It doesn't look great, but even the usage of it's kind of annoying. All right, let's get everything back together. Coming down to the feet, you have feet on a ball joint, so forward and backward, side to side, and a rotation. All right, let's take a look at the accessories. First, we get these two guns / swords. So this can be used in two different ways. You can either peg it in like this. Yeah, these hands kind of, you got to open them up a little bit. But. So I can use like that, like a gun. Or if you want, you can peg it in here, just face this to the back. And again, you have to open up the hand just a little bit. And this will peg in there. And now you have this look. It's kind of cool. And you can do all sorts of things with these, you know, because they come out, you know, potentially you could peg these in other places, you know, because it's got a peg, but I'm going to leave those there. We also get this adapter, which allows you to take these and you can plug these into here. And then you can take this and plug that into his hand. Now you have this super gun type of thing. And we also get his hand. And the hand actually combines with the other hand. I don't have the other one because you need to get the other figure, TA-HYL004, their version of Swoop. It'll actually combine back here and combine into, you know, basically a spider. But since we only have the one, I'll just show you this. You know, this is, it's a spider on its own. You know, looks pretty cool. It does have articulation. Obviously, these are the fingers, so let's just put it back into hand mode so you can see what it looks like. It's this pretty spindly hand, you know. But I think it'll be something like this when it attaches to his combine mode. And we'll take a look at that, but pretty cool little mini spider. We also get this guy, which is a legend scale Snarl. So they've all been coming with a legend scale, at least the hero class, and they're not necessarily the same character. So this is Slag, he comes with Snarl. Got some metallic red, gold, and then the rest is this gray plastic. You can detach the tail and plug it in the hand, and that becomes a blaster. You do have to put this together. I found it irritating to put together, to be honest. A lot of the joints are really tight, so it just makes for not a fun experience. And they're trying to, you know, give you like a little model kit, like blockies. And honestly, it didn't feel like blockies. It just felt annoying. For size comparison, there is next to Studio Series Optimus Prime. So you can see how it fits with the retail line. Pretty well sized, maybe a little small for Dinobot, but works okay. All right, now let's get him transformed into his Dino mode. And there's a lot of moving parts on this thing. This can stay on here. However, you know, you want to lift it up and move it out of the way. But all of this stuff can stay here. Lift up the horns and then just leave that right there. Come to the front here. We'll open up the chest. Bring out this little piece right here. Rotate this around. Put the head in its place. Just push that all the way in. This will come up. And so right here, the head will come down and basically sit right there. However, we need to work with these shoulders. So I like to just move this around this way until we're ready with these arms. These are on ball joints. There's a lot of things on ball joints that pop off during the transformation. It's not fun. Open this up. Close up your hands. Fit those in there. Bring this out. It's tabbed in right here. And that'll be the front paw. Rotate the arm so you get it to the front. Bring this back. This is the thing that keeps popping off this ball joint. Bring this back and let this sit right here for now. Same on this side. Now we can rotate the head back the other way. And we'll get these tabbed in a minute, but that's how the front should be looking. Come to the back. We'll lift up this panel, lift out the tail. I rotated it to the side so you can rotate it straight. Accordion this out. Leave that up for now. Come to these hip skirts. We're going to open up these panels on both sides. one of the things that's frustrating about this figure is some things are super tight like these, and some things are loose and pop off like these ball joints. So I will more than likely pop these off while I try to transform this into dyno mode. Just letting you know now. All right, bring this section forward. And we're going to rotate. And this is another joint that's way too tight. You can hear it. That knee joint right here. Bring that forward. Rotate this out on this joint. Sounds terrible. And then this is going to become your dyno leg. We have to, let's see, rotate this around. And yeah, it just sounds terrible. But I'm going to collapse this down on this double hinge. And I got to tell you, this just doesn't, and there goes that ball joint. It just doesn't feel good. Okay, that came off the mushroom peg now. Yeah, I find this whole transformation frustrating, but bring this around and you should end up in a position like this. Maybe bring down this joint here on the hip area. So you'll have something like that. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. All right, here he is after getting both legs transformed. And you want to get these plugged into each other. So get those tabs in. Should have this panel folded back. This side panel's got to come in. There's a tab here and a slot on the side of the body. So get that plugged in. And then later we have to get this. That's kind of difficult to get in, but if you have this lined up first, it makes it easier. All right, now I suggest you hold these two panels that are tabbed in with your finger and your thumb and your finger, and then bring this over, get that tabbed in, get it tabbed in on this side as well. It's really difficult. All right, I'm just going to plug it in without it being attached, and then I'll see. Yep, that worked better. So you could do it not attached to the ball joint. Seems like the easiest way. All right, you're going to come back to here. There's two pegs up here that'll plug into the thighs. If they don't plug in, that means you don't have the thighs rotated up high enough, but they should plug in right there. There we go. Bring these in and down, and they'll clip in right here on the top. I'll straighten up these legs. I don't know. I don't love the rear legs, but and for this one, bring this in and get this tabbed in. Honestly, not the best. There we go. The problem is, again, these tolerances are too tight. Bring the arm back. Get that in a little bit of a pose. Then bring the head back. All right, there is Breakhorn in dyno mode. And it looks pretty good. The front especially, I think, looks kind of cool with the spikes and the horns. All that gold, gunmetal, silver. Paint looks nice. Here's the back. The back isn't great. It looks kind of unfinished. These legs are very limited, just because of the way they're positioned. They're not even the right location, but because there's no outward joint, it kind of ends up looking a little bow-legged. The front legs are better. Those go in and out. You get the same articulation you had on the arms, but these, It's a new joint right here. It's this hinge, and that one is very tight. It feels very stiff back there. Head can go up and down and rotate. Mouth can open up to there. Like I mentioned, the shoulders can rotate. They're very tight at the shoulder, but the elbow joint is pretty good, and the foot joint is pretty good. Those two move pretty well. Front horns can also rotate. Rear leg can rotate, but it's very tight. Knee can bend. Foot is on a ball joint, side to side, forward and backward. Tail is on a ball joint, up and down, rotates. And then the rear part of the tail also on a ball joint. So you get a little bit of waggle out of that tail. As far as the weapons, you can take this double blaster thing, and that will plug in right here on the back of the tail. So get that plugged in, and then you can angle these kind of however you want. Now he has blasters or cannons on the back. That does look kind of cool. All right, I almost forgot about this guy here. So we're going to get him transformed into his dyno mode. Go ahead and remove the gun from the hand. Set that aside for now. That'll become the tail. And we'll open up the arms. Fold your hand in. Make sure it goes in straight. It tends to get caught up. Close that up. Bring the paw around. Rotate it. And bring the arms down. Same with this one. Rotate the hand in. Close that up. Rotate the paw around. And bring that down. Lift up on this chest piece. We're going to unpeg this from here, bring this back. And lift up the head a little bit. Rotate that around. Lift this up a little bit. You got to push that through. I haven't found an easy way to do it. But basically this joint has to come all the way through to this side. So you can do that. Then we can come to the back here. Lift the leg out. This will flip around the other side. Actually, it clips in right there. Bring this leg down. Bring your robot mode toe up against the back of the leg. Same thing on this side. Bring this out. Fold this down. Bring your robot mode toe up. Rotate this down and get that tabbed in. You can see there's a peg in between. So get that pegged together. And then get all of that pegged into the back of the robot mode. This will come down, and you might need to do this first actually, but this will come down in between and clip into those leg pieces right there. And should look like that. Oh. Some of these ball joints like to come off. I do find the ball joints on some of this figure irritating. But yeah, these should be all the way up and pegged in to the side. Open up the head. We're going to rotate this back. This will clip in right here into the back of the tail piece here. Bring the head up. Kind of match that up right there. And get this straightened up. And then bring your tail in. This will plug in from the bottom and complete his look. And there it is. Not the best thing, but not terrible either. It is a kind of a legend scale, almost like a model kit version, but head can rotate on his ball joint up and down, side to side. Shoulders can rotate on a ball joint. Hinge here, hinge at the foot. Rear leg is on a ball joint. That pops up very easily. That goes in and out, bend at the knee, articulation at the toe, and a waggle at the tail. And this is really just, kind of a freebie figure. Comes with the bigger one. And it does go into combine mode. I'm not going to bother with it here, but you can see right there is the combiner joint that we're going to use to add I think that's for the foot. But either way, I'm not going to get there. I just wanted to show you this. For size comparison, there it is next to the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime trailer and roller. Pretty big dyno mode. I think it works for chug scale. All right, now let's get him transformed into his combined mode. And I'm already in kind of frustration mode with this. So I think I'm just going to get transformed off camera. We'll take a look at it and we'll be right back. All right, here he is in arm mode. And very frustrating transformation. It looks okay. You get the head here on the shoulder. Here's the forearm. It's kind of bulky. It does have a joint here, although it kind of runs into this. It's possible I don't have it transformed correctly, but here is the actual joint where it attaches. It does have a ratchet in it. It's just got a lot of kibbly bits and parts, and it's very sharp and not fun to transform. I will say the hands do look good. It's intimidating for sure, you know, but I don't know. I don't find it fun to mess with and play with and pose. The rotation here. Yeah. Pretty cool for a chug scale, but yeah, just not fun in my opinion. So final recommendations on the CangToys Hero Class Breakhorn. I think this looks pretty cool, but I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 partial recommendation. While it does look great in robot and dyno mode, I find the transformation very annoying, frustrating. There's a lot of overly tight joints. Tolerances are all over the place on this thing. There's some things that are, you know, loose, some things that are tight, some things that are just right, and it leads to a frustrating transformation and even posing experience, right? Especially the legs. I do think if you're a fan of this aesthetic, you're probably going to enjoy these. It's a good looking set so far, you know, unique stylized version of Dinobots. I just don't find them fun to mess with or transform. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Augie G. We'll see you next time.
Reviews. What's up, YouTube fans?